Hello, everyone. Hello, it's me. It's Ron Ed. Just kind of touching base with everybody. I really want to know how everybody is doing. I mean, especially with a lot of the things going on around the country right now. It just seems like on every hand that people are really, trying to divide from one another, and I don't think that, that we really want to, we might want to think this thing through before we get so divided that things get worse. The Civil War was a terrible, terrible, terrible time. Now, it was worth it because it eradicated something, the nation's greatest evil, which was slavery. And it started the slow process of, getting rid of massive across the board racism. Now, I realize that racism still exists in our country, but nowhere near what it used to be. And we all have room to improve, with, I think, racial biases, I think that, and that's no matter what color you are. I love all people. I was raised Christian. I was raised in a Christian church by good people, good God-fearing parents, and I was taught to love everyone. The Bible says, how can you love a God whom you haven't seen when you can't love a man whom you have seen? And that's absolutely true. He doesn't specify, well, you can love this person, but you can't love that person. What I mean by that is, it doesn't tell you, to only love people of your own race, and what I mean by love, I don't mean romantically, I mean love as in showing love. I mean love as in treating each other equally, and not looking at their ethnicity or their skin color, and looking at the, as Martin Luther King said, the content of their character. And I have no idea why that's so hard for people to grasp, is looking at the content of someone's character rather than their skin color. Stereotypes, while there may be some truth to what different ethnicities like to eat, or different ethnicities like the way different ethnicities like to dress, we're still people. We all are people. We're all the children of God. We were made in His image. And, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. Whatever your ethnicity, you're a child of God. And I love you for that, because that makes you my brother and my sister. There's so much hate in the world today. I can't, for the life of me, I can't understand why there's so much hate in this world. Well, I do understand why there's so much hate in this world. It seems, and I don't know why people can't make this correlation, the less and less that our country goes to church on Sunday and takes their kids to Sunday school and just altogether turns their back on God, the more and more that happens, the more that we turn our back on God, the progressively worse things get for us. The more trouble we seem to have. And it all started back when, they took Christianity out of schools, prayer out of schools, that kind of thing, and Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, it doesn't matter to me. I think that you should be able to celebrate your religion just the same as I should be able to celebrate mine, which is Christianity. You know, now I realize that there are some extremists out there. There seem to be a disproportionate amount of Islamic extremists than there are Christian extremists, but there have been throughout history Christian extremists who killed in the name of Jesus Christ, the same as you know, the Muslims that carry out jihad kill in the name of Allah, you know. And I'm no expert on Islam, trust me, I'm not, but I am somewhat of an expert on Christianity, being as I've went to church and been in Sunday school all my life, read the Bible 2 or 3 times, at least. Well, more than that, I'm sure. I'm 40 years old, Sunday school all my life, read the Bible at home. I imagine I've read the Bible a couple hundred times over the years. Now, that's not to say straight through, cover to cover. Now, I have done that, but a couple of times. But, you know, all in all, by skipping around, looking at verses that correlate with each other on a particular subject, over time I have read the whole Bible. I'm sure, at least 100 or 2 times, throughout my life. And I just, I'm pretty familiar with it. And I know that as Christians, it's our job to try to promote other people to become Christians. It is not our job, however, to beat people over with their sin. It's fine for us to let people know where we stand, and it's even fine to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's not fun, however, to beat people over with, like I said, with their sin. The best testimony anybody would ever give, any Christian would ever give, is by the life they lead, and not by what they say. If let's say, for instance, your neighbor's with someone. You think those neighbors don't realize that every Sunday morning you are out and you got your kids piled up in the car and you go to church and come back home and have a family dinner every Sunday? That's an example. They know, that you go to church every Sunday. Well, if they see you go to church every Sunday, then how are you living the rest of the week? Are you living like hellions the rest of the week so that you can go to church on Sunday just to feel better about yourself? Or are you helping that neighbor, that's watching you go to church every Sunday? Are you working real hard? Are you, do they, ever hear you and your wife screaming at each other? Or you cussing the kids or whatever? It's just that testimony that's the greatest testimony you'll ever have, is your actions, and not, I repeat, not what you say. Because the words that you say will never measure up to the actions that people see in you. You can't lay drunk all night Saturday night and go to church with a hangover on Sunday. People notice that, and that's not setting a very good example. I don't know how many times I've heard people that I've been trying to witness to who are great people, but I'm concerned about their soul, because you have to be born again with the shed blood of Jesus Christ to make it into heaven. That's my belief. And people that I might be witnessing to, I can't tell you how many times I hear the same thing. Well, if so-and-so's going to heaven, I'll have no problem getting in. Well, that means that those people are seeing the hypocrisy in your life. you might want to reevaluate your own life before you go and start preaching to other people about how they should live theirs. Basically, keep your side of the street clean before you give cleaning tips to your neighbor. But just, as I said, live by example. People will be able to see Christ in your life. People will be able to see that light in your life, the successes that come along with trusting in the Lord. You know, whether it be that, you know, that new job that you get, or, you know, whatever. I mean, God has a way of blessing His children, and if you're really living a life, you know, if you're living a life for God, God's going to provide for you. You know, he might not provide everything you want, but He will provide everything that you need. He always makes a way for His children. As most of you know, I think if you've watched a couple of my earlier videos, I was a former drug addict. I battled drug addiction for years, opiate addiction, you know, and I'm sober now. I've been sober for several years. I had to go through drug court. I had to go through drug court here in my own state, and yeah, it really helped me. But it helped me because I wanted it to help me. You know, there's two types of people that choose to go to drug court. There's the people who think that it's just a better alternative than going to jail, and then there's people that actually want the help. If you're the people that actually want the help, it will help you. But you have, and I repeat this, you have to be in it for the right reasons. I mean, if you're just in it to, you know, keep from going to jail, then, and I apologize, I've got a cold. If you're just in it to keep from going to jail, you're in it for the wrong reason, and it's you're wasting your time, because you're gonna flunk out of drug court. You'll never graduate if you're not in it to win it, you know. But I'm kind of getting off on a tangent there. But what I'm trying to say is, I've in my lifetime, I just turned 40 years old last week, and in my lifetime, as a 40-year-old, I've lived enough life for, you know, several, you know, 2 or 3 40-year-olds. And, you know, instead of treating my body like a temple, I treated it more like an amusement park. And I just pray for forgiveness every day for that. And I kind of feel like Daniel, you know, and Daniel kept asking God for you know, for help. He would ask God every day for help. He said, Daniel, I heard you the first time, you know. That's not word for word quote, but that was the gist of the conversation, you know. God, I heard you the first time, you know. The Bible says if we had the faith of a mustard seed, that we can move a mountain. Now, I'm not sure if many of y'all know how big a mustard seed is, but it's a real tiny thing. Not much bigger than you know, a grain of grass seed, or you know, it's somewhere in between a grain of grass seed and a grain of sand. You know, it's very small, and that's not a lot of faith to need. But then on the other hand, it is a lot of faith that God requires of us. You know, I say, if we had the faith of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. Well, we can look over here to this mountain over here beside my house. I can look over that mountain, and I can ask the mountain to move, and ask God to move that mountain. And guess what? That mountain's probably not going to move. And the reason being is because I just said it probably won't move. If I said that it was going to move, and I absolutely 100% believed that in my heart, that that mountain was going to move, the mountain would move. Now, that's the thing, though. You know, people wonder why their prayers don't get answered because they don't pray with expectation. They pray in desperation instead of expectation. If you pray with, you know, if you pray with expectation rather than desperation, now, I'm not saying not to call out to him in your time of need. By all means, do that. But when you do that, expect him to be listening, expect him to answer your prayer. And at that point, if you truly expect him to answer your prayer and it's not answered exactly the way you want, or as quickly as you want, or the way you wanted, realize that you're not the only one that is praying to God. God, you know, you're worried about yourself, but God has to worry about us all. So, I give this example, you know. You might have plans to go out on a picnic, and 2 miles down the road, you might have a farmer that's praying for rain for his crops. Well, which one of you get what they want? Do one of you get a beautiful sunshine? Does the person who wants a pretty sunshiny day get the sunshiny day, or does the farmer get his rain? Well, you know, while the picnic is nice and while you would like to have pretty weather for it, if the farmer is praying for rain, that rain feeds, you know, grows the crops feed hundreds and hundreds of people, and I would be willing to bet that God's going to choose what's best for those hundreds and hundreds of people over whether or not you had a good day to picnic. Just saying. And just keep that sort of thing in mind, you know. When you say, well, I prayed for this, and I prayed for that, I prayed for good weather during my vacation, and, you know, we only had 1 or 2 sunny days the whole week. Well, you were blessed with a vacation. I haven't been on vacation in 15 years, maybe. This is 2018, it was 2003. Yeah, 15 years since I've been on vacation. And the reason being is I simply couldn't afford it. Like I said, I'm a recovering drug addict. When you spend all your money on drugs, not much money left to go on vacation, you know. I mean, you spend all your money on drugs just to keep you functioning so you can work, you know. And my father's business shut down, so I'm in between jobs. I lost my father. And we shut down the family business, so I'm looking for work right now. I'm doing these YouTube videos. I'm trying to start these YouTube videos to see what might happen there one day. But in the meantime, I've got to find gainful employment, and I do pray for that every single day. And I have faith that God's going to send a job my way that is going to fulfill that need, you know. But He's going to do it on His time, not mine. His time. Well, that's my little tidbit for today. Just food for thought kind of thing. And, yeah, if you don't mind, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if you didn't like the video, but thumbs up, preferably. And hit the subscribe button if you want to hear more from me. I'm on a temporary budget, obviously, right now. Like I said, I'm in between jobs, and I would really appreciate, you know, if you subscribe to my channel, number one, and if you, I'm trying to get some equipment, you know. My laptop is completely fried. I can't it's not, the screen doesn't work, so, and the keyboard doesn't work. So everything I do, I have to do it on a television, through a television set, and use the keyboard that pops up when you use a touchscreen. It's complicated, but it is tore up bad. I need a new laptop. And hopefully I'll be able to get one, and when I do, you know, I will be able to bring you more quality videos and more current events, more stories, that kind of stuff, better video editing. If you want to help me in that endeavor, I will link my PayPal account in the description below. Feel free to, post a donation. Obviously nobody's required to do so. But if you do want to help me, help myself get my life back on track, I beg of you to do so. I do have osteoarthritis, which makes it hard for me to hold a lot of jobs that I'm used to holding. I'm used to being a physical laborer, and my body has failed me through osteoarthritis, and so I'm more inclined to be able to do office work. And that's one reason why I'm exploring the YouTube option is, maybe I can, make a run at this and try to, I'm not saying necessarily make a living at this, but maybe, a little supplementary income as well as bringing you guys some entertainment. In return, I don't expect to get a handout. I expect to earn the money from you guys, and either be informative, funny, or a mixture of the two. I'm willing to talk about anything. Anything from your favorite conspiracy theory of the day to to God, what He's done for you, and what you need Him to do for you, and things of that nature. And but I do need to upgrade my equipment, and what I mean by that is basically I need a laptop. So I'm gonna have to save money to get a laptop. If you want to help me with that, like I said, I'll link my PayPal account in the description below. But obviously, nobody's required to give. I just would really appreciate it if I did have some help. But mainly, click the subscribe button. That would help me tremendously. And yeah, I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you.